It's that time of the year, baby. The transfer portal is blowing up. We got to talk about that and more here on the Sooner or Later Sports Show, a Hog Media production presented by Sleeper. That's Coop. I'm Jay. Thanks for pulling up here on the YouTube channel and listening wherever podcasts are downloaded and listened to while you're here. Please wipe your feet and like, subscribe, rate, review. Give us 5 stars. Y'all think we deserve it? Go ahead and give us 5 anyway. And gifted. So, on today's episode of the Sooner or Later Sports Show, me and Coop got a lot of great stuff to talk about. We're going to dive into things like returning players. We've also got, it appears, a few transfer portal wins. We're all talk about the one thing that's official, which is we got a coach, a tight end coach. And then from there, we'll just talk about whatever Coop's got to add to it. So, thank y'all for, of course, joining, pulling up, and all of that good jazz. Coop, how's it going?
It's good. It's been, I feel like it's been a long time since we've been doing this, since we've been able to do this, but now we're here, and so lots to catch up on, but yeah. Happy New Year. I don't think we can yell Happy New Year anymore after today. Like midway point January, you're done.
Technically, you really can't anymore because we're kind of like past the first even week.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's funny. I have a coworker. He is 100% anti saying Happy New Year past 1 week after New Year's Day, and I think I'm leaning that direction too. It's New Year's, baby. We're already here.
I think it's like the awkward haven't talked to you, because you could have the dad joke of, hey, I haven't talked to you since last year, and then yeah. So, but anyway.
True, but we had a show since New Year, so we've kind of already said that to everybody at least once. So now it's getting really, really awkward. Thank y'all for joining. We appreciate it. It's been a bit. I know we missed about 3 shows. I had a combination of, I went to Dallas and recorded a show for Locked On their on the college football kickoff show on Amazon Fire TV. If you didn't get to see it, I appreciate it. I hung out with Coach, the 2022-time Coach of the Year, Gary Patterson, as well as the former Cowboy and Tar Heel Jesse Holly. It was a great time. So I got to do that. Then I forgot what happened Sunday. Oh, I traveled for work. I've been traveling for work since Sunday and got home late last night. Recovered, and we're home. But Coop, the big thing is that you did not get to talk about probably the biggest news that hit before I left. We got a new tight end coach. Oklahoma officially announced Jason Witten is tight end coach. And as Mark pointed out in the comments section, that's the same thing on my video that I did on this, because there was more news that happened, but I don't recall them ever saying anything about the old guy. It was at all. No acknowledgement whatsoever.
There was the expectations that Oklahoma will be parting ways with Joe John Finley, and then it kind of just disappeared, and then it was, hey, we got Jason Witten.
Yeah, just disappeared into abyss. It was the weirdest thing in the world.
Now, I would say maybe the fact that he was an alum, you kind of wanted to, make it as peaceful as possible. Everyone kind of saw the writing on the wall. And so, kind of the announcement of Jason Witten, the expectation announcement for JJF. I think it's pretty, it's great to, not, have your name in there for, hey, you've just been fired from a job, even though sometimes when you get fired from a job, nowadays, if you're one of these coaches, it's here's $30 million too, by the way. So if you want to fire me from the podcast and pay me $30 million, I'll take 3. And you can say whatever you want.
Problem is position coaches don't get that 30 or that 3.
Oh, no.
So since we kind of both position coaches, we walk away with $3.
It's
and we make it that way.
Yeah, there we go. But Jason Witten. So obviously the connection is DeMarco Murray, right? This is one of the best tight ends that have ever played the game, at the pro football level. Yeah, every single one of these guys that are coming up as a tight end is probably talking to their, dad, their uncle, their friends, and they're talking about how Jason Witten was just a monster. You got the clip of him, trucking guys with his helmet off, which now I think that brought in the rule that if your helmet comes off, the play's dead. I think that was because of Jason Witten. So,
Rule
obviously,
creator. Yeah.
pros and cons. I mean, it's better than the horse collar, rule, which I think was on about Roy Williams, right? I think
Yes.
Roy Williams was the Sooner Roy Williams, not the underperforming wide receiver from Texas. But there's that one. I think that the Vontaze Burfict has a rule. So I mean, with Jason, his name's going to bring a lot. So I think I expect him to be able to talk the game. Hey, listen, I did at this highest level. I think he's more of the blue collar type of guy. So most people say just because you're great at the position, a la Michael Jordan, doesn't mean you're going to be a great coach, a la Michael Jordan. But I think that Jordan was just so far above everybody. Jason was a really, really big, hardworking tight end, right? So this guy got to work, got to grind, continued to get better and better and better. And, he did it from the blocking perspective. He did it from the receiving perspective. So that's going to be great. Now, I would fully expect Kevin Wilson to probably work with him on some of the technique stuff, being there, offering his opinion when necessary. But Jason knows what he's doing. I mean, he's been through D1 practices at Tennessee, being coached up. I'm pretty sure he still has some memories of that, CTE aside. And then potentially, at the Dallas Cowboys and then, ending it with the Oakland Raiders. Like he's a name when it comes to tight ends. Like he's one of the greatest to do it. So I'm excited about this and sounds like he's already, getting to work. So that's good also.
Yep, that's the best part about having a guy like Jason Witten who's been excited about getting into coaching in the collegiate level, and he was wanting to get it going. And the good thing here is this is a great opportunity at a prestigious organization. One of the rare moments former player with no collegiate experience gets to walk in and really jump in as a position coach. And you said it perfectly, Coop. That's the biggest thing I personally struggled with was he just doesn't have the collegiate experience. Now, granted, he was a coach at the high school level. He's done all of that, and he's dealt with kids. He understands recruiting because he's had coaches come in to recruit his kids. So he knows that stuff.
Yeah.
So I was just really kind of wondering about how he would get acclimated to the collegiate level on that, but I think he'll be fine. I'm pretty excited, and at this point, I'm in the water. I have zero reason to believe anything different in this aspect when it comes to Witten. So it's a big risk, big reward type situation that all we can do is sit here and hope for the best. Really, that's really all where we're at.
And it's not like he is replacing a legend. So it's not like you're going from a phenomenal coach to let's see what happens here. I mean, the court of public opinion says it couldn't be any worse. And I mean, just with that being said, now, I mean, it's kind of the same thing with Arbuckle coming in over Luttrell. Can he do it at the SEC level?
Yep.
Couldn't be any worse. So, and listen, we all love Joe John Finley. Like he is an alumni. Like he's going to be welcomed back. Hopefully he gets a chance to go do what he wants to do. But Nagy now has a guy to where he can say he can go out and him and Dawson and everybody can go out and do the scouting, find guys, and then say, hey, listen, how'd you like to come to University of Oklahoma and have Jason Witten as your tight end coach and work with the guy who did it at the highest level, the Pro Bowl level?
That's a fair point. 10 catches by a recruited athlete, and he's doubled what we've gotten from what we've gotten from the last coach. And he's an alum. He played here. He is loved by the front office, by donors. A lot of people like the former coach. And so, like I said, I'm not going to bag on him very hard just because he's an alum. If he wasn't an OU alum, I'd go all in. I don't see any value in bashing someone that's
we got it. We got the change. We got the change that we
got the change. We got the change. Jason Witten. Now the question is, who can Jason Witten land? The good thing is Jason Witten has been working already because we've already seen a crystal ball drop for a transfer tight end from the state of Texas. We'll talk about that a little later. That, my friends, is called a teaser. We're going to transition, though, into the returns because, Coop, we got a few returns. First off, Isaiah Sategna gave us this. He said he'll be back, and he's been photoshopped into a New Jersey number. That is number 1. Not sure if y'all knew this. He wore number 5. In all the videos you will see of him, but he is now wearing number 1. And guess what, Coop? He back. He's returned.
He is back.
He is going to be here at Oklahoma, and I am very excited. How you feeling about Sategna letting us know he's back?
I mean, he's got a lot of unfinished business, right? He was really close to that 1,000-yard season.
He really was.
In the bowl game, he was pretty much shut down, whether that was a la John Mateer or Alabama. We saw a couple other guys, Deion Burks, have big days. Giovanni had a couple big catches, but you've got your leading receiver returning. He's a big play threat. I think with some of the guys that we've brought in, otherwise, maybe he gets a chance to just focus on receiver and not, deal with the punt return stuff. We'll see what turns out with that. But anytime that you can bring back your leading receiver who was top 5 in the SEC in receiving yards and has the big play potential, I mean, there's nothing bad about this. And this is the positive side of NIL, to where instead of him going and maybe being drafted in the 3rd or 4th round, you can bring him back for a pretty lucrative NIL deal. He's probably going to go, where he was slated this year, next year. And there you are. You get a big play receiver back.
Yeah, and that's what we was hoping for. That's the thing, of course, that we were talking about this for a bit of. We really hope that Sategna comes back. That is basically the mindset of all the conversations we had going into this year, because he comes back, you bring in these additional receivers, and now things should be pretty good, right? Like, Sategna was your dude. Like, he went out there and he gave you big play after big play. And you're right. The unfinished business really with him is he did not get his 1,000 yards, 965. And I think the best part too is, though, he showed year over year improvement from coming from Arkansas. He moved up. Let me see. He had, 37 catches for 491 and 1 touchdown in Arkansas. Had a few people get upset. They're just like, why are we taking him? Why are we bringing him? I mean, he ain't got no numbers. He ain't somebody we should be going after. And then he turns those numbers from 37, gets 30 more catches at 67, gets about 400 plus more yards at like 965, and then 8 touchdowns, 14.4 yards a catch. That's huge. So you add him, you got Trell, you got Parker, and then to me, the underrated part of this is like it's that perfect balance you get, like Thanos and Gamora with the little deal, the knife. Now you can play your young players.
Yeah.
Elijah Thomas. Everybody wants to see him. Everybody wants to see Manny Choice, Jaden Pettit. You still got Jermichael Carter as well. So hopefully now you go deeper in your rotations and you see more players going forward.
And he's got the chemistry with John Mateer.
Yeah, oh yeah.
So John
that's his
isn't
safety blanket.
Breaking. If you were breaking in let's say that Sategna leaves, and let's pause on that one. If Sategna would have portaled, Sategna would have commanded not what Cam Coleman was commanding, but he would have probably been in the $1.5 million range. If
minimum.
He said, "Hey, I'm out. I'm going to go somewhere else."
Yep.
But he enjoys this staff. He enjoys Arbuckle. He enjoys Emmett Jones. John Mateer. Like he wants to come back because Now you got some help. And if you get some wide receiver help and some other big play threats out there, that's a big opportunity. Plus, he knows the offense now. So, I mean, like I said, it's just a win-win. So pretty
It
excited about
is.
that.
Yeah, I'm pretty stoked the fact that we got him back. That's what mattered the most to me, is that he's going to make his return. So you got that one. Then you add next on the list. Few hours later, I was waiting to see if this was going to go down and happen. Kip and John Mateer drops. One, this is a badass graphic. The return of the tens.
Return of the tens. I dig it.
That's pretty good. Well played, my friends. Well played. They are back. We have Kip. We have John Mateer, your offensive and your defensive leader. And yeah, I'm pretty excited that they're back.
It reminds me of 2 years ago when Danny and Billy Bowman were looking to return for their, unfinished business there too. I mean, same situation. I mean, I don't think that Kip can hurt his draft stock. I think he can improve it a little bit. I think he probably got a decent grade. And then, because he is available to play the type of linebacker that you need now in the NFL. You got to have the linebackers who can get out there and do some stuff in pass coverage, which is why you see certain guys returning to the team and certain guys who left the team. It's the ability to, get out in pass coverage, to do the right thing, the right drops, the right reads. John, I mean, this is a weaker quarterback class this year. John, he could have gone, and, all it takes is one team to love you a little bit earlier than everybody else.
Really,
you look at him with the opportunity to come back, get the eyes right, play healthy, hopefully with the improvement on the offensive line, improvement at the running back position, improvement at the skill positions. He doesn't have to put his body on the line as much. He can be the type of guy who runs when necessary. I look at like a Trevor Lawrence for the Jacksonville Jaguars this year. Trevor can run all over the place, but I mean, his job is to sit in the pocket and make passes. And so I would like to see, that Michigan game. I don't want that type of John Mateer being needed game in, game out. We everybody talked about it. Yeah, but is it sustainable after the Michigan game, after the Auburn game? We saw what happened there. So now he gets to come back with a full complement of weapons, and hopefully just to prove to the NFL, hey, listen, I'm a gamer. I'm going to play through it all. He always got the Baker comps. I think the toughness thing still remains there in his comp. He wants to get out there and he wants to do whatever's necessary. But he needs to be a better passer. And if you can take a jump in that offense, you expect the defense to be good again. So if that offense takes another jump, now you are a little bit more of a threat. Probably going to be a preseason top 10 team also.
Yeah, there's a very good chance on that, especially because you bring back so many players. A lot of your defense is back. I mean, you don't have R. Mason Thomas coming back, but you still got Taylor Wine. Yeah. You don't have like MJJ coming back, but you got Daniel Collier. PJ Arboare entered the transfer portal for 2 minutes and came right back. Right? I mean, another David Stone situation. Stone's back. Jane Jackson's back. So your interior's back with Kip back in the middle of the linebacker. Now it's going to be on some of the new guys. Cole Sullivan, who just came in as a transfer. It's time to get the James Nesta era going, as well as Marcus James. Remember, Nesta's like 6'4", Marcus James like 6'3". So you got two giant linebackers who both are 240 at minimum on both. So you got both your big guys coming back that are younger, and they've been in the system now 2 years. It's time for them to show up. Like, I know I've seen a few people be upset that they really wanted Sammy to come back, and I totally get it. But you got to remember, Sammy only got 1 year. Sammy wasn't probably going to start, right? You bring in a player like Cole Sullivan, who's 6'3", 230. They're going to add another 5 to 10 pounds to him. He's going to be running around at 6'3", 240 fast, and he's going to be he's better than Sammy in coverage. Sammy's really good at directing, and he's really good at run stuffing. Just didn't work out long term. But guess what? Sammy's going to go play somewhere as a senior. He's only just 1 year. He's probably going to start out there at UCLA, and that's what he wants to do. He wants to start and get that starter tape to look good in preparation for the draft. Whereas here, he was not going to probably get that opportunity. He was going to rotate just like everybody else, but he wasn't going to be able to start. Like I said, his numbers were slowly when it comes to snaps. They were declining. So that being said, that's kind of how that works. Now it's Nesta time. Like I said, y'all want to see some of the young players. Remember, keep this in mind. Two things and we've said this numerous times here on the show. Retention is just as important as acquisition. So bringing in portal players is important, but retaining the talent you have on your roster is also just as important. So go look at all the starters you have. You still got Torrey. You still got X-Rob. You've got your entire 4 of your offensive line starters plus backups that you want to keep because you want them to be able to play, but you added some additional senior depth to that. You brought back your best wide receiver, and you just added 2 more. One that was one of the top players in his conference in the ACC. ACC produced some good wide receivers. And then you get Parker Livingstone, who's a young wide receiver that can grow with the other dudes. He can grow with Elijah Thomas. He can grow with Manny Choice. And he can become your number 1 next season while the other guys are up and ready to, to chip in. Then you go to the defensive side of the ball. Basically, your defensive line is intact without Mason Thomas not being there. But Taylor Wine showed you'll be fine without him. Yeah. Taylor Wine proved that to you in the Tennessee game. We told you it was going to happen. R. Mason told y'all it was going to happen. He shut us up on it. Oh, my bad, dog. No disrespect to our God here, Taylor Wine. The G can definitely handle it. Now you just got to see if PJ and Daniel Collier ready to take over the other side. Linebacker, similar. Corners. We're coming back with our entire secondary for the most part. Like, Robert Spears-Jennings is gone. Yeah, but you got Michael Boganowski. Someone everybody's ready to see. So, Coop, when you look at all of this in the full picture, all you're doing is adding pieces that you want to rotate in occasionally, especially because on defense we rotate a lot. But this is the other one to keep your mind on. When it comes to the players we're going to start adding now, we're adding depth pieces. Pieces that are, experiments. Players, some may be able to contribute. Some are there to see if the potential is truly there based upon the measurables. So don't be surprised when you see some randos populate. The game's the game. That's what it looks like. So yeah, I'm happy we've got basically our 3 generals out there. The 3 most important players I felt like that we needed to come back, to have the opportunity to come back, because Peyton Bowen was already coming back. He never even, they didn't even put no graphic for him, and he's eligible. But he coming back. You did a good job of retention, guys. Take a bow. That's something to be excited about, Coop.
It's good. And in this world of portal, you're going to have guys who want that starting position. And in a guy that's, go with like a Marcus Strong. He would be a phenomenal depth piece. He'd probably be the 3 or the 4 D tackle this next year.
Yep.
He went somewhere else. He went to Clemson, and we said it at the end of the year, at the beginning of the year last year, at the beginning of the year this year. You're going to start seeing guys you don't necessarily want to lose, but these guys aren't going to Texas State, UNLV. These guys are going to Clemson, Northwestern, UCLA. They're going to P4 programs, and every single one of our guys that's gone is doing that. The reason why, they're going to get starting pay there. They're not going to get starting pay here. And so, it is what it is. So what you want to do is continue to take the starters, work on the retention that route, really have plans in place. Devon Jordan, another guy, just looked at going somewhere else. He's going to probably be a starter where he goes. Now you work in these newer guys, these younger pups, and bring them up. And so that when Eli Bowen has a decision to make next year, does he go to the NFL? Well, now you have somebody else who can step in and start in his place. So you want to keep the starters, and you want to continue to grow your recruited players, and recruited players are going to be cheaper.
Yeah, and recruited players cost. Retaining your players cost. You just got to decide who's more important. Because remember, this year, Taylor Wine was your big breakout player. He's hands down breakout player of the year because he just blew up. If you had to battle it between somebody, it's between him and Cortland Guillory because he came out of nowhere, boom, blew up. I said Taylor Wine blown up this year. So now we have to ask the question of, okay, what's the next young player that we want to see blow up? To me, I think it's going to be James Nesta and Marcus James in that linebacker room. I think they're going to be the biggest contributors. But we'll talk about that later in another day. But right now, we're happy that we got our 3 main guys to come back. So we're going to talk about who Jason Witten was definitely going after in a moment. Good question just popped up here. I've had this asked a few times. Do we want Nick Anderson back? I'm going to go ahead and say no. That ship has sailed. He is a solid player, and he lived his life at LSU, and that didn't work out very well, nor did it work out his last year here. So no need to rehash that. I think he's going to end up at Kentucky, and that may be a good spot for him. J.J. Hester went there. You can go look up J.J. Hester's number. So, no, I'm going to say no on that, Coop.
I already gave you my thumbs down. Again, says ship sail, bridge burned, whatever it is. It's you're not going to bring in a guy who, yet again at LSU, had some injury concerns, missed some games. I mean, I think that he had 3 touchdowns. I think 2 of them actually hit another LSU player and then bounced in his hands. So, I mean, that's what his production kind of turned out to be there. He's going to go somewhere else. Hopefully he gets healthy and gets on the, Nick was the last Sooner to score against Texas, though.
He was.
So
him and Dylan Gabriel. I guess you could both count, but yes.
Yeah. So
Dylan throws
but yeah, no, it's. I think that you have a lot of other options on the field, and I think that's what he is going to have done in his past. I'd rather take a chance on getting Manny Choice or ET out there and getting reps.
That's the way I look at it. I've seen a few people ask the question of, are we going to get more? Wide receivers in the portal? I'm just kind of like, I mean, we probably will, but if I'm being 100% honest, to me, the thing is, I just want these guys really I want to play our young players. Those are the ones that I really care the most about, and so yeah, that's something to really think about there. Okay, we're gonna talk, of course, more portal stuff. We got another one since I've been gone. So we kind of have to talk about the additional portal player that we got in. And, we'll take a lot of y'all's questions. Before we do that, shout out to the partners over there at Sleeper. If you ain't checked them out yet for Daily Fantasy Ball, you are definitely missing out. One thing that I've done with this, too, is I like about the app is it actually shows you, like, the latest news and updates, as well as, like, you'll see, like, highlights and all of that stuff. Like, I've seen the pop-ups and stuff that are populated from when these transfers hit. Great way for me to keep up. If you also have, if you're not in our Discord, you got to check it out. Shout out. We had a shout out in the comment section because our cord has been popping and we've been talking like crazy about transfers. But help out us. Use our promo code UNFAIR. They're going to match your first deposit at 100% up to $100. Plus, they got all kinds of cool stuff. Like right now, you get 100% boost on NBA games. So check that out. Totally worth it. I play a game here and there, won a couple dollars and was like, yeah. So we'll make some picks on the next go round on here, but y'all can check it out. Like I said, use the promo code UNFAIR. They'll match your first deposit at 100% up to $100. Terms and conditions apply. See Sleeper's terms of use for details. Thank y'all for pulling up. Hit the like button if you're new to the channel. Subscribe, rate, review, give us 5 stars. Me and Coop were kind of talking a little bit about this in the cord group or whatnot about some players that we know Oklahoma's going after. And as Coop mentioned earlier, as soon as Jason Witten got here, what was the first thing he did, Coop? He went out there and he went to work. He went to work to the point of we got ourselves already a crystal ball for a tight end. 2025 tight end Jack Van Dorselaer. South
JVD.
Lake Carroll High School, JVD, South Lake Carroll High School down there in Texas. He committed to Tennessee this year. I'm going to say this out loud. Sooner Cowboy, please don't you say a single word when I say this. Sooner Cowboy, I'm calling you out specifically because I know that you're going to say something about this. So don't say nothing, Sooner Cowboy. You all should remember JVD. When we played against Tennessee in Knoxville, he's the one that dropped the pass on 4th downs. When they threw that random freshman out there on the play and the freshman was wide open and the pass thrown behind, JVD was the one that dropped it. But we're not going to count that against him, guys, because he's a 2025, which means he would basically be added to the class with Trinae Washington. He can block. I've actually watched some of the tape on him. He's a pretty solid blocker. That's what we need. Plus, he actually can catch. But it's funny that Jason Witten has already gone to his alma mater to snatch up a player and bring him to Oklahoma.
Of all the places.
And as Jimmy points out here, you're 100% right. He knew he was going to be a Sooner. But no, I mean, I think the thing that excites me, Coop, though, and I'm going to pass it to you because I want to know what your thoughts on this is. This is a tight end out of Texas. I don't know. When's the last time we got one of them?
I just don't remember tight ends coming to this university since Austin Stogner. Like, that's the last recruited tight end that did anything.
Yep. But we got Trinae Washington, who I really like. So y'all know I hype him up. He's young, but once he gets his blocking down, I think Trinae could be really good here, but this warms me up. What do you think about this potential pickup, Coop? Because I think it's going to happen probably in the next hour.
Yeah. I mean, played at Southlake. That's one of the traditional powerhouses down there in Dallas. Southlake Dragons, if I'm not mistaken. Yes. I mean, he's a 4-star guy. He's got the size. I mentioned it earlier in saying, like, the bar's pretty low, right? So Jack does have himself 1 touchdown, which would be more than Kanik got last year. So I didn't know that Caden Helms got a touchdown. But, it's a young guy that Jason Witten can start working with. And as I said before, I think that Jason Witten's going to have a lot of help, if he wants it, from Kevin Wilson. I mean, if I'm Jason Witten, I don't think pride's going to be a factor in there. I think he's going to say, hey, listen, give me the pointers, like, sit here, see, work together. That's how Kevin Wilson likes that role. That's why he's sticking around. He doesn't. He doesn't have the. I mentioned this in one of our other pods. Like, he doesn't have the have tos. He gets to float around and help where he sees necessary, and I think that's the leverage that BV and Arbuckle have allowed him. Whether it is with the offensive line, whether it is with the tight ends. But this is a big body. I mean, we got 3 tight ends, now coming through the portal. This is better than getting a dude from, no offense, Carson Kent, but, wherever he came from. I mean, this is he gets to grow too. It's not a 1-year rental. So hopefully he can develop himself and just get better and better each year.
That's what you want. And that's kind of what we're looking for. We're now, like, and this is kind of why I mentioned this on purpose, because I'm really hoping a lot of you understand this in this point. And, like, I'm going to shove this in your mouths and down your throat so you understand me. When you hear me say this. No pause here at all. Or did he? We're now at the point where we need to just start adding depth projects and players that could potentially rotate, but most likely won't. Why? This staff likes their recruits. They always have. We play more of our recruits than we do any other player. We've always piecemealed in transfers. Only on offense we did. And I got a video coming out tomorrow. I'm not going to spoil it now. But I got a video out tomorrow kind of talking about why that is, in my opinion. But the Cliff's Notes on it is that the staff has recognized that the most important thing for them is recruiting at a high level, finding those particular players that have the particular traits that fit specifically what we want to do. And that's why you don't see us going after just anybody in the portal. Nagy, same. I mean, we've spent a lot of money in that wide receiver room because we need to revamp it. We unfortunately lost some potential in there, and it's okay. But and some of the players we've lost were dudes with 1 year left that did not finish up, like I said, as starters. So our goal here is to find a way to play the young players that we've been recruiting the last few years so they don't have a reason to try to leave too. Some, unfortunately, will. The ones that typically live, your Devon Jordans, your Malik Hawkins, which Hawkins, him and his brother were kind of a package deal. But you would have wanted to try to at least retain the corner because that's the room you want. You want to make sure you maintain depth. But the one problem you run into with that room, similar to Marcus Strong leaving, is the twofold piece of that you had freshmen starting on at that position because they were that good. So when you run into that, that's when you do have attrition of players in behind them, and you have to go get younger players or players that are willing to come in and rotate and try to take the job. So just kind of the unfortunate casualties of how the portal and the way rosters are built nowadays. Just is what it is, you know?
Yeah.
It'll be okay.
Listen, BV tried to keep people engaged, right? He was rotating in multiple different guys, Jacoby Johnson, Davon Jordan coming in, like, with Eli and Cortland Guillory. So you're going, this is, we've seen good pieces. Now, every piece that comes in through here now, don't expect like a big splash offensive tackle from, Indiana or something like that to hit the portal and us go spend $1 million on another O tackle. Like that's probably not going to happen. I think we're pretty good and set. I think we're going to add, depth pieces at this point because you've got some guys coming in, and if you can add a depth piece, let's go with, who's the wide receiver, smaller guy that transferred in this last year. We didn't see him. He transferred out. Josiah Martin. Yeah, so Josiah Martin, like that's probably what you're going to see. Or a guy like Beklenko come in, you're there for some depth and if breaking case of emergency. And then if you want to go somewhere the next year and go try to find another spot, you're still getting money. You're still coming in. So if you see a guy that, maybe an offensive lineman commit over here in the next couple of days and you're like, that's not very exciting. He's not slated to be a starter. He's a guy that you like. He's got snaps. He's going to come in and be depth because again, you don't want to run into the situation where was it a couple years ago where you're trying to, or even this year where you're sliding over Fabichuewu over to center because you don't have any depth there. So looks pretty good in the portal right now. You got to look at our friends down south. They're trying to fill out their roster. They're really struggling on the offensive line interior right now, and you're looking at a guy starting.
I don't know her.
You're looking at a guy potentially starting, which the writers said at this point you just can't play him. Kind of reminds me of Can't Play Cantor from the Thunder a few years ago. That's not a spot you want to be in. So I'm pretty happy with the portal. I'm pretty happy with what's going on right now. And again, you want to continue to see the guys that you recruited, that you made those promises to, that you then come in and progress and get better. And then some of these guys who are portaling in this year, maybe they leave next year because of the development for the young guys.
No, yeah, 100% agree. That's what you're hoping for, right? You're hoping it works out in that way. We just need him to go out there and like produce. Oh, wow. There's been like a lot of really good players most recently jumping in the portal. So, of course, our hearts are being warmed and we're hoping that there's an opportunity to get somebody else out there. But besides that, Oklahoma right now, the strategy in the portal is going to be, in which I'll do it this weekend now. I'll have the roster built. I've already built it. And then I went out of town for work. But I have the roster built. We're going to look at who's returning, who's coming in, and really assess what more do we need. I know we're going to try to get us one more DB because it's always good to have a nice little young DB. Somebody's visiting right now, if I'm correct. Think Parker. Yeah. Besides JVD, I think there's a corner that's visiting right now. Actually, I think a couple corners are visiting. And then you'll see some O-line. You're going to see some more D tackles. We still would like to get a few. We need more depth pieces. Like, I think personally, I was fond of this one, but there was a lot of people were not. And it was that Bishop Thomas kid, the defensive tackle from Georgia State. Had a few people in the comments section complaining about it. Like, we need guys from I don't know where they think that we're going to get other guys from, but they're complaining about this one. I like this pickup because Bishop is a big D tackle and he has played D1 ball, a P4 ball actually, because Georgia State is D1. But he's played some, I think he was at Colorado and Florida State. He's a good just filler. Like 100% filler. Like he's a player that you bring in that, I think he has what a year left of eligibility? But he was one of the highest graded defensive tackles in the Sun Belt via PFF. Like, what's the complaint here? You got a highly graded dude who's also played at bigger schools.
I mean, he's got snaps, and you know, a lot of people are going to point towards the, needing other guys to step up. Some of the younger guys. Again, you don't want to play a freshman if he's not ready. If this guy comes in and let's go with, Brian Harris really presses him, and Brian Harris beats him out. I mean, that's a win-win. I mean, you got a depth body. You can't expect Davis Stone and Jaden Jackson to take all those snaps. So yeah, I mean, anytime that you can rotate in the fats, you get some more fats, you plug them in the middle, and you go. Plus with the grades, obviously the techniques there. What does the coaching look like when you come in and you get to learn under Todd Bates at this point? Like, do we see what Todd Bates did, since he's been here? He's made this defensive line better. I mean, you look at, Jonah Lalau, with Oakland right now. Jonah is one of the better defensive linemen on that team with Max Crosby. And, they absolutely love him. And so, You get some good coaching on him. And maybe he goes from, oh my God, it's Georgia State to, I just say this, everybody across the country, you're watching a game and you see a guy flashing and making big plays, and they're like, oh, this guy came over from South Carolina State. And you're like, how the hell did this, all these P4 programs miss them? And how, did they, Kentucky get this guy? This is one of those guys that I think is going to be a good one.
I agree. Boomer Sooner, good question here. Where are we on the roster limit? I believe we're at like 100 and I think we're at like 100 and between 103 and 107. I have to do the actual math again because you got to do the pseudo quote unquote walk-ons and see where we're at with them. But with everything the way it's going, they probably don't count no more. So we're probably under the 105 because we are hosting a ton more people. So keep that in mind. We're still hosting a ton of them. So we're going to do that. But what we need is players that have the option to, like I said, rotate and develop. Like, to me, Bishop, when I looked at some of his tape and his grades, he reminds me of G-Baby. 6'2", 285, 290, but good hands, good movement, gets low. And I think Gabe and Teddy did a in the weeds of it. I like it. He's worth it. He's worth looking at. He's worth talking to and talking about. So, yeah. We're going to just start. The roster's going to be filled out with players. You may get some young players from other schools, a la JVD from Tennessee. You'll get players like that. You're going to get some from lower range. You get some JUCO. I think we're looking at another NEO kid. That went well with us for Dobie until he got hurt. So I'm totally here for NEO. Give me some JUCOs. So we're going to be definitely looking at JUCO players as well. But to answer, there's a couple questions coming here. Haven't heard a thing about the AD. I am just waiting for Bob Stoops to go ahead and get named AD. Just call it a day. Get it over with, guys. Rip the Band-Aid. That will be a good one. Besides that, though, no, we don't have a lot of... We don't have a lot of spots available for people to come in and start. Let's put it that way. You're basically pulling in, like I said, a lot of development guys. Like what was the lineman from UTSA that we all fell in love with? Yeah. Kenny is going to be Ozawalu. Kenny Ozawalu from down in San Antonio, 6'4", 270. He's going to be a fun edge.
I think that he is going to be a little bit of a multi-tool. Bad turnip seed for AD. Wow. I think the multi-tool is good because this is a guy who played D tackle and D edge. I mean, he is going to have that capability. And when Brent Venables runs a lot of those zone blitzes to where you have one of the edge players drop back into zone. I mean, think of running a Stone and Ozawalu like stunt. You've got a two D tackles. One's a little bit bigger, one's a little bit smaller, but I mean, both of them can play that D tackle, and Ozawalu can play on the outside. Plus, I mean, he's 6'4". So I mean, that's never a bad thing to have a guy like that. When I think of some of these bigger outside edges, I mean, most of the time is what does he have the blend of power and quickness? I mean, this guy was a freshman last year, so he'll be coming in
Yep.
as a true sophomore.
Can't beat that, right?
You get him again, Miguel Chavis, Todd Bates. Both those guys are working with him. So the coaching jump. Now, I will say this is you've got there, if the day happens where one of either Todd Bates retires or Miguel Chavis gets his big look and goes somewhere else, their defensive line coach down there at UTSA, a guy named Sadiq, he's a baller, and he's a guy that I think that I would love to look at because he's had some of his edge and D linemen, transfer to bigger schools. I think Texas got the kid last year. Now we get him this year. There's a lot. I mean, he's putting some players up with some production. So I think that's a guy that I'd watch out for too.
Yep. But yeah, Titanium Leg will be back. He has already he did his little video saying that I'm making my return. So you do get Titanium Leg back next season. So short shorts and long kicks will be back. I mean, we really don't. We're borderline all in. We're not like a borderline all in situation here.
Yeah.
Really think about it.
Yeah, Tate obviously not the end that you're looking for, right? You missed a 30 some odd yard field goal. You come up short on a 50, and that's just a sour taste in your mouth. I mean, just with kickers, I mean, there's not too many teams that are going to go draft a kicker. So he's probably going to receive some good money to come back. He'll go next year. I think he needs a little bit more maturity on his body before he goes and tries to kick. And God knows the NFL is always looking for kickers. So, but that's another weapon that you have coming back. He gets back to what he was doing all year long. And you add another weapon, more retention.
That's all you needed. You just need to add retention is just as important as acquisition. Y'all know I say this over and over, but I'm hoping people understand that. I'm just reminding y'all, you got to keep, if you want good players to come back, you still got to pay them just like everybody else. You don't need to get players to basically quote unquote recruit on top of them or portal players on top of them. And that happens with some. Sometimes you like, all right, we realize that after 3 years of working, it just didn't work out. So we probably need to go look at another player. And here we are doing that. So, all right. Yeah, we've got it's going to be a fun next few days as Oklahoma's got all these visitors. Told y'all JVD is here. That was reported. I know Parker Thune had thrown that report out there, and I've seen a few people to talk about it. Keep your eyes open for that because, yeah, you're going to have that. You're also going to have probably about 4 or 5 more positions that we're going to look at. And it's all going to happen this weekend because this is the last real weekend to really get going because the holiday's on Monday. School starts on Tuesday. For a lot of them, they're going to want to try to move in over the weekend. And probably who we bring in is most likely the ones that will probably be ready to play. So anyway, it is Chuck. Not for you, but you know that majority of the listeners are really casual, so we've got to make sure that they understand. All right? Like, it's not you guys. We talk to y'all like normal, but we got to, we're very inclusive here. We want to make sure that those that do listen to us that aren't football connoisseurs don't feel alienated. We take care of everybody.
No, Jordan, no Seaton. Seaton's not coming anywhere near here. I got to think that's he looks like maybe an Oregon I think that Texas is out on that one, which there's that. And we don't want to talk about basketball. I don't want anybody jumping off buildings and drinking more than they need to.
I don't know her. Mm-mm-mm.
But the Thunder just won by 20. So
they blew out Houston? Whomst among us would have thought?
It was like 28-8 at the fourth quarter or something like that. So
shocking.
111-91 held the Rockets. Now, my sleeper picks, I definitely did not see that coming. I had both Durant and SGA doing a lot more than they did. And SGA, I mean, he got us 20, but I think that was all.
Yep. It's all right. Guess what? He kept his streak alive. That's all I care about. As long as he keeps the streak alive, I'm happy.
You play to win the game. You play to
win the game. Hello. Gosh, I love good memes. All right. We're going to run up out of here because it's getting late. Coop has kids he needs to go put in the bed. But we appreciate y'all joining us as usual. Thanks for pulling up. Hit the like button if you're new to the channel. Subscribe, rate, review, give us 5 stars. Shout out. Partners over there at Sleeper. Use our promo code Unfair. They're going to match you. First deposit at 100% up to $100. And yeah, I expect next season to be better. And we won 10 games this year. We'll see y'all soon. Peace.